Okay, guys. So our notes for today will be 2.3, solve equations with variables and constants on both sides. And at any time you need to pause this, you can if I'm going too fast for you. Or vice versa, if I'm going too slow, you can fast forward it. Okay, so when we're solving equations, there's some steps we need to take. I'll just show you all the steps first. So number one would be to simplify each side. Okay, so when you simplify each side, you want to look for distribution, fractions, or combining like terms. And I put same side because it would be combining like terms on the same side of the equation, not opposite sides. Okay, and then number two, you want to move your variable term and your number to opposite sides of the equation. And then once you do that, then you can divide or multiply by the number to get the variable by itself, and then check at the end. You can, whatever x equals b equals, you can just plug that back into the equation and see if the sides equal the same number. Okay, so, ouch, sorry. So let's look at this example here. Okay, we have negative times y plus 13 plus 2y minus 12 equals negative 28. So first what we want to do, we want to look and see number one, we want to simplify, right? So that means to distribute fractions, combine like terms. Always try to do the distribution first. That should always be your first step. So we need to distribute the negative sign to the w and to the 13, okay? And that's going to look like this. So we are left with a negative w. That just means a 1. If there's no number in front of the variable, it's a 1. You can add that there, you can leave it out. Then you're going to do that distribution, which gives you a negative 13. So a negative times a 13 is a negative 13. Bring down your 2w, your negative 12, and your equals negative 28. Okay, so we've distributed now. Sorry. Now we want to look for, let's see, do we see any fractions? No, we don't need a fraction bust. We don't need to do anything like that. Combine some like terms, right? We do see on this side of the equation, we have like terms, right? We have w's and we have just regular numbers. So those are all like terms. So let's do the w first. Let's do a negative w plus a 2w. That will give you a 1w or just w. Then if you did your numbers, you have a negative 13 minus a 12. They're the same sign, so you're going to add and keep the sign. So it gives you a negative 25. Then you want to bring down your equals negative 28. So you have a 1w minus 25 equals negative 28. And now this is where we can move our variable terms and our numbers to opposite sides. We already have numbers over here, so we want to take these and put them on this side. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the 25 to both sides. They cancel out here. And then here we're left with a negative 3. So we have our w equals negative 3. All right, let's look at another example. Let me put this up a little bit. Oops, sorry. Twist up. There we go. I'm trying to see it so you can see the whole page. Okay. So let's look at this one. Let's get rid of some of this so it's not so crazy. Write down for your example, 1/4 equals x minus 7/16. And as you see, there are some fractions there. So we have nothing to distribute, right? Distribute. I always say that word wrong. I'm sorry. We have nothing to distribute, but we have fractions. So we want to do our fraction busting, okay? So we want to find our least common multiple over here of 4 and 16. And the way you can usually do that, I mean, a lot of times you can just tell, you know what it's going to be. Go with your bigger number. Okay, so we want to use our 16. We're going to distribute now the 16 through the whole problem. So we should have a 16 times 1/4. And sorry guys, I couldn't work this out with you because the other video didn't work, so I had to redo it. Equals 16 times x minus 16 times 7/16. So write that out first. Try to take away some of the craziness down here too. Make it a little neater. Don't do any of the fraction busting yet. Just write it out as a distribution problem now. And then once you do that, then we're going to get rid of those fractions. So as you can see, 4 goes into 16 by 4, right? So this one goes away, and now that's a 4. So we're left with 4 times 1, which gives us our 4 right here, okay? Then we have 16 times x, which gives us our 16x. Then these two 16s will cancel out, and we're left with a negative 7. Don't forget that negative sign. Okay, so now we have this problem where now we can just start moving variables and numbers. We already have numbers on this side, so we're going to keep numbers over here this time. So you're going to add a 7 to both sides. This cancels out. Then you're left with an 11. Bring down our equal sign and our 16x. To get rid of that, or to get that variable by itself, that's where we do number 3. We divide and multiply by the number. So we're going to divide by 16. Those cancel out. Divide by 16, so we're left with x equals 11/16. And to check that, all you would do is pop that 11/16 in for this x up here, solve it. This side would already be solved. It's saying 1/4. So then you would see if 11/16 minus 7/16 is the same as 1/4. And then the same with this one. You would plug in the negative 3 to the w's up here and see if both sides of the equation equal to the same number. I'm going to give it another 30 seconds to copy, otherwise go ahead and pause the video.